video, I'm going to show you how to use Equator2 from ROLI to make a really great lo-fi kick drum. It is full of character and really easy to change that character by using a wavetable. We're only going to be using two sources and just a little bit of routing to make this sound. Now, before we jump into the tutorial, I do want to point out that if I come in here to where the wavetable morph is and move this around just 1 percentage point at a time, we'll actually hear a dramatic change in the character of the kick drum. So we can go from really crunchy to something a little bit more smooth and anywhere in between. So let's go ahead and remake this inside of Equator2. I'm going to click New here. Okay, so the first step is in Source 1 to go ahead and load the Trembling texture wavetable. You can find that in the wavetable library just by searching up here at the top. I'm going to double click to load it. And from here, I'm going to take the coarse and bring it all the way down, right click and send that to envelope 2. And I'm just going to keep it at 50% amount for right now, and then jump into envelope 2 down here and just kind of pull down the sustain all the way and bring the decay around 0.2. 0.27 is good. Okay, so you can hear it there, but it's a little bit quiet. So the next thing I'm going to do is come into the effects, and over here at the last insert, I'm going to come in and just add the compressor, and I have a preset here that's all set to compress this kick and make it a little bit louder in the mix. So that's where we are. I'm going to jump back into the synth engine here, and right here is really where the magic happens, where you can start to tweak out the lo-fi character you can get from this incredible wavetable. Watch what happens as I move the wavetable position from the bottom to the top while I let the kick play. Okay, so you can see that the character is changing as I change that wavetable position. Just remember that for later on when you come back in after you've made your kick if you want to change the character a little bit. The next thing I'm going to do is turn on the filter for this source, and instead of low pass 12, I'm going to come down and choose wave folding, and I'm just going to boost up the drive here. So it sounds really good, but there's a little bit of this high frequency tingy sound, which I want to get rid of by just turning on the filter over here. Sounds great. You can also pull up the release time just so we can get rid of that. Make the end of it a little bit cleaner. I also might pull down the resonance here and boost up the drive as well, and maybe open it up just a little bit more. And let's jump into the amp envelope and do the same sort of shape, which is completely pull down the sustain here, pull it over, pull up the release time. And we've got rid of that clicky sound. Perfect. Now let's add the attack transient to the kick drum. And to do that, we're going to use some pink noise. So I'm going to activate the second source here. I'm going to come into noise. It's automatically pink noise. That's perfect. I'm going to pull the level all the way down. I'm going to right click and send this to envelope 3. And the reason why I'm not going to send it to envelope 2 is because I want to be able to have control over it with the level control over here. So let's go over to envelope 3. And again, we want to do this. Let's go ahead and solo the source just so we can hear what we're working with. So we just got that little bit of white noise. I also want to pull down the width because I'm just looking for a click attack transient there. And now if I play the two together, and if I think it's too much or I want to open it up even more, I can do that with the decay time and the level control down here on the envelope 3. So depending on how much of that upper frequency content you want, those are the controls you're going to want to use now that the routing is set up. And honestly, that's pretty much all there is to it. You could also come in here and perhaps add the filter if you want to cut off some of that higher frequency content and just add some of the mid to highs. Again, it's all about the character you're looking for, and that's the beauty of making a kick with a synth like Equator2. The last couple of things to do is jumping here to effects. I'm going to come in here and add an EQ, and again, I have a preset saved. And if you just want to come in here and kind of mimic that pattern, I'm going to show you the different nodes that are active here. You can just come in and redo that yourself. And over here, I'm going to add a model distortion. And again, I have a preset saved. If I double click, and let me go ahead and bypass this just to show you what the EQ is doing. This is without the EQ. This is with the EQ. So it's doing a lot of heavy lifting there by way of making it sound a little bit beefier, a little bit more kick drum like. And then if I turn on this model distortion, it's at 0% by default on my preset here, but it only takes a little bit to really start to distort this kick drum. So just 2% from that to that. And I would say even above 5%, you're going too far. I just like to have that there just in case I need a little bit more of that upper frequency content to cut through the mix. But let's see what we got. Let's see how that sounds in the context of the track we're working on. And we've got a really great kick. And I just want to remind you, as I said throughout the video, to come back into source 1 and change the wavetable position to get a different character kick drum. Like right there at that 32 wavetable position, it really sounds like an acoustic kick drum, does it not? Very, very impressive. Anyway, that's how to get started making a kick inside of Equator2. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.